You say, I'm Wayne, I want a venue. How do you go about that? How does that process work? Because it's not exactly we're putting a little cafe in somewhere. You're putting in something that's going to be a destination that's going to be you're saying to the world.
You look for.
Well, I can't take credit for that. I'll give that credit to my son and Tony really, because they sort of, and Maxie, they sort of get the venues found.
Yeah.
And, I don't really do a lot, to be honest, anymore. I just go and turn up, have a few pictures and have a good time. Very fortunate. But Dwayne's my son is he's the hub of the machine that is Ocean, really. Yeah.
Okay, you've been.
I've met Dwayne, haven't I?
Dwayne.
I've met Dwayne a couple of times. Yeah.
You've been very open there, and this was a question we spoke about in the car before we got here. People, maybe in the past it would be more possible. I feel like now it's more towards the impossible side. You can't do everything yourself.
No.
How do you find working with what are your family now? Even if they're your friends, they are your family.
Yeah,
they've been there the whole of your life. How do you kind of find working with them and putting your trust in other people?
Yeah, I mean, I've been.
Or would you rather do it on your own?
No, I couldn't do it. But, yeah, I mean, obviously, I've had partnerships in the past that have gone wrong, and over the years, you learn to put your trust in the right people. I've had a partner in Lineker's for most of the 34 years, about 30 years. It's Paul Bocott, Bo, I call him. He's been amazing, and I trust my life in him.
Yeah.
And I could trust my life in the partners.
You are literally trusting your name.
Yeah,
it's your name's there.
Yeah, and they're trusting me as well. So, but obviously having my son being the main reason that Ocean works, back end wise.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah,
it's enormous. That operation alone. We've got great general manager in place, George McBlain. He's been with us for years. Dwayne's best friend from childhood.
Yeah.
Since they were 3 years old.
Oh wow.
Which is a beautiful story.
It is, because sometimes they say don't get into business with friends or family. Sometimes.
Yeah. What's your opinion on this, Kurt? I'll ask you this because I always personally think getting into business with friends and family, I think is the best thing ever.
It is, yeah.
Personally.
I think why people say don't do it.
Depends what your out kind of end goal is. Are you there to screw somebody over, or are you there to make people better and financially better off?
I think the problem is when they say don't sometimes go with friends and family is because, let's say, you can tend to get a bit more heated with friends and family, so therefore it can cause more arguments, and sometimes it can end up in the friendship being broken, which then ends up in the business sometimes being broken. And I think this is an element of what some people think.
I tend to agree with AJ, really.
I think it's a good thing.
I think it's a great thing.
Because your family know they are there for you, and friends as well, hopefully if they're true friends, are there for you as well.
Yeah.
Plus, if it's worth me putting my time and energy into, like people say it's not like we're going and stacking shelves at Tesco. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It consumes your life. So if I'm going to put passion into something and energy, like I want it to be with somebody that we're all going to succeed as one. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, for example, the only time my businesses have failed or it's all gone wrong is when I've gone into business with a stranger. Not a stranger, but someone that I don't really know.
Yeah. You don't know how they work, what their actual real intentions are.
Yeah. So, I'm all for it, mate.
Have you ever had an actual situation where you've invested in something and you've actually lost quite a bit of money because of that? Yeah.
Which is I won't talk about it.
Fine.
It's but it hit me hard.
Yeah.
But I put trust in someone that I didn't know, and it completely ripped me off.
And what was your learning curve from that? Like, because I think the most important thing is, like, we've all been through different things in our life at different times, but I always find, like, I'm somebody who always tries to find positive in everything, even when sometimes you're like,
me too,
I can't find a positive in this situation because something's really gone wrong. But there's always something that you feel like you can get from it. Yeah,
I mean, I want to enjoy my partner as well, my business partner. I want to have fun with them,
Yeah.
I'm the furthest thing away from corporate there is. I'm just one of the boys want to have a laugh.
But the thing is, a business needs that sometimes.
Sometimes,
a business is too corporate. It takes away the love, takes away the actual the feeling, emotion.
It's finding the right balance, really.
Yeah.
Which my partners bring the corporate side of into it, and I'm just me. I'm just there.
That's what sort of works well with us. AJ's more corporate.
But I think it works. Yeah.
More freelance.
So you probably don't have to worry about
Freelance.
this. Yeah, freelance. That's probably not the thing you should be saying on camera. That's for sure, Kurt. I'll get your working hours.
No,
We can increase them.
I'm freelance. I'm definitely not freelance. Well,
That's not what the contract says, anyway. But obviously, within your side, you probably don't have to do this as much. But how do you hire the right person? Because I find like this is something that I ask a lot of people that we speak to, business people on every aspect. I find hiring somebody is the hardest task ever.
Hiring someone fresh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we tend to promote people within they've come and started working for us, and we sort of bring them up the ladder.
Yeah.
Oh, do you like to keep people in the family then and really grow
It's
them
like
in
for,
yourself?
management and stuff like that. They'll start as a normal waiter, or for example, and then progress, and we see them. We see potential in someone, then we'll bring them into management,
Yeah.
and then eventually sometimes partners in businesses, and
So if somebody wants to come and now, I was going to say audition or ask for a job with you, what do they need to do?
Sorry.
What do they need to do to come and actually?
So what job do they want, Kurt? Give me a bit more information.
Ocean Beach. Then.
They want to be a waiter at Ocean Beach.
Well,
is
they
that
want to be involved in Ocean Beach and then progress their way up the ranking.
Yeah, well, they can do that with Ocean. Well, with all our businesses.
Yeah.
We're always looking for, fresh talent, ideas, people, that think outside the box a little bit. And, so, we don't really tend to go in for people that are already at the top of their tree in the management game or whatever. We like to build them up for the ranks. And,
Well, I always find this within like large companies. Say if you're investing into companies on themselves, it's always you obviously usually look at the C-suite. So who's the CEO, who's a COO.
Yeah.
But I always like to look at a step kind of before that, being like, did they actually grow the company to that position, or did they arrive at the company when it was already at that position? Because it's two very different mentalities. Like, are you somebody that's kind of seen it grow and worked hard, or are you somebody that's actually you're coasting, you're improving margins, but you actually haven't been there for the true pain at the beginning of the growth.
Well, that's
Are you
it,
a grower or just a maintainer?
that's it, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's nice as well because you're taking a journey with them, and they're taking a journey with you, and you've got I'll go back to George, for example. I used to manage Lineker's, and I was used to work in Lineker's. And then he got put into management in Lineker's, and then from Lineker's he then got the general manager at Ocean job, and them stories are beautiful because we are like you say, like family, and instead of employing someone fresh off the streets or that's worked for another company for years and years, which we do now and again, but we prefer really. Well, I like it when they come up through the ranks.
I feel like Kurt's auditioning for a job. Kurt, give us a quick idea then of how Wayne could make more money from, let's take one business, Ocean Beach, because it's the most iconic.
You could create party planning for all corporate venues and events and call it the O Party for Business. And therefore, then what you can do is you can have sort of an Ocean Beach vibe, but you can have it in the big conference halls all around London, all around the globe and everything. And you're really bringing in that whole element of Ibiza party to corporate venues.
What would you do with how would you get the swimming pool in the venue?
Small paddling pool, Wayne.
Okay.
But yeah, sounds good. We'll talk later.
It sounds
That
good.
was a cracking idea off the top of the head, wasn't it?
It sounds good, Kurt, but I feel like there's a lot of problems. I'm going to go for something quicker
All right, and then
more.
then you name the drinks. For example, if it's an event for me, it's a Long Island iced tea.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Okay.
A little colada.
Yeah, a Wayne Lineker.
A Wayne
Lineker,
Lineker,
wasn't it? Or
Lineker.
something?
Okay, I'll go for something
Tom
quicker.
Zanetti come out with that one.
Yeah.
Merchandise, straightforward, like
Like it, AJ.
actual merchandise that is
Like it.
specifically annual. So you'd have an artist that does say 2024 and then 2025. So you'd have your, like, obviously the funniest thing was when I left Ocean Beach, first thing they would check my bags. I was like, I quite clearly don't have a giant bottle of vodka, and it was for the cup. It was for the cups, wasn't it? And
Cups, yeah.
obviously they sell for £7 a cup. But imagine if each cup had the year on it. So people, rather than just buying one, they bought them as collectibles, and they actually had them as each year. So rather than having a customers being like, I've got one now. No, I need to buy one every single year.
I like this
Repeat.
idea.
So therefore, you get your repeat customer,
Yeah.
you increase your margins on that side, and now you can have it be like, okay, I've got my Ocean Cup from Ibiza, I've got my Ocean Cup from Dubai,
Have you got a
and therefore it's much quicker.
2019 Ocean Beach Cup?
Have you got
Yeah.
that limited
And then you-
edition
and
red
then you can
nose
show
day
it.
one? Or limited edition
Because
maybe not red
everybody
nose, but
loves a limited edition T-shirt or something. So therefore, you can have 1,000 just in that. So therefore, that's a guaranteed profit margin, easy to do, and you shift them online. It's e-commerce, sell them
Yeah.
worldwide.
You sell your standard ones and you sell your premium ones, which you can only get that year. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I think I win the audition.
That's a good idea. That
I'm glad I never signed the NDA.
yeah.
NDA.
Hey, you take it. I'll take some free drinks. I'm happy.